I get a lot of questions about simple sales, as you can probably imagine, so I figured I would go ahead and dedicate an episode to answering some of the most common questions that I get. And far and away, one of the most common questions that I get has to do with how simple sales guarantees profitability. People want to know what to include in their packages and how much to charge. And the bad news is I can't really give you a straight answer for that, because profitability isn't the same for everyone. So there's not one price point that works for all different photographers, nor is there some sort of magic right number of files and right amount of print credit to include. It all depends on your business, your numbers, your situation, your market, so many factors. I have students using Simple Sales for mini sessions who charge a relatively small amount and offer these bite-sized collections. Then I have students coming from in-person sales who now use this system to make thousands of dollars per client. It just gets scaled up or down depending. The good news is that in the Simple Sales Blueprint, I give you formulas based on data from hundreds of photographers that takes the details of your specific needs and business and clients and gives you a clear answer on what to charge for your session fee and for your collections, and then what to include in those collections. Even better, those formulas are now built into what I think is a pretty amazing calculator that you can download and use over and over again as things change in your business. So let's say that this year you want to take on 100 clients, but in 3 years, things have changed, your circumstances have changed, and you want to cap your numbers at 70 clients, but you don't want to take a pay cut. So the calculator is then going to give you an easy way to know exactly what to charge this year and then 3 years from now, depending on your circumstances. Another question that I frequently get asked is about the tech that you need to set Simple Sales up. And I love this question because the answer is almost none. Literally, the only piece of tech that you really need for Simple Sales is a subscription to a gallery software that gives you the option of an online gallery store, which is something that most of us already have. Now, I have opinions about which gallery software will make it the easiest, and there are definitely other pieces of tech like a CRM that will make the automation of your process easier. But I don't want you to let that get you hung up. If you are in a place in your business where you don't have a CRM, or if you are thinking about changing, software for your gallery delivery system, that's all fine, but you can build the system and experience the benefits of the system without any fancy bells and whistles. You don't need to, change everything all at once. Once you've got Simple Sales up and running, then you'll have more time and likely more cash flow so that you can dedicate the time that you want to tweaking your system with more advanced tech. Recently, I've gotten a lot of questions from photographers who use the process called soft proofing, where they present their clients with a proofing gallery of images only with basic edits. Then after the clients choose their images, that's when they make the final edits. So people ask, can you do soft proofing with Simple Sales? And the answer to that question is yes. It works really well. I have dozens of soft proofers in my student group. And the only real difference with soft proofing is that first, you need to educate your clients. That's step one regardless. And they need to understand the process and what will happen so that they know what to expect. Then when you deliver their preview and they choose a collection, you'll add a step where they choose their images, you edit them, and then they go to download their files and fulfill their print credit. I also get a lot of questions from photographers in different locations about whether Simple Sales works in their area. In particular, I seem to get a lot of questions from photographers in Western Europe who say, the culture is different here, photography is consumed differently here. Does Simple Sales work? At last count, I have students who are using Simple Sales to successfully run their businesses in 6 of the 7 continents, which I'm very proud of. Obviously the majority of those are concentrated in North America, which is where I am. That is followed by Australia and New Zealand. There's a very large contingent of photographers there using it, and then Western Europe. Obviously, I speak English. That's the language that I teach in, so I do have some limitations on where I can spread this. But we do have people using this system in Asia, Africa, and South America as well. Obviously, there are always going to be cultural differences to account for when it comes to photography and the money that people are willing to spend on photography or expect to spend on photography. But these days, the market is booming, and photographers who deliver a great product with a great experience are thriving all over the world. Simple Sales is flexible enough to be tweaked to accommodate your market while retaining the basic benefits for both you and your clients. Another question I often get is, will I lose clients if I switch to the Simple Sales system? So for the answer to that, let's turn to a couple of my students.
I think my biggest concern was that because I was kind of having a full calendar at that point, I was afraid that most of my clients were going to leave and go somewhere else because of the price jump. Basically, I was changing my pricing from what my all-inclusive price was going to be my price for 10 images, which is a huge difference. And I would say that originally my business stayed mostly the same from a income. Like for the first 6 months, my income was about the same as it had been in the past, with slightly less sessions, which is great for a work-life balance. And I had told myself originally going in that that's what I wanted. Like it was okay if you have to like tell yourself that over and over. It's okay if 25% leave, because if you're charging 25% more, you're still coming out at the same point, but getting more balance back. So originally that happened, but then I would say that after probably a year to 18 months of doing it, my income was, probably going up at least 50% every single year. And I didn't find that people were thrown off by the pricing.
I just talked up the benefits for the client, that they're just paying a session fee and then they get to choose how many digitals they want after they have a chance to see and fall in love with them. And once I was able to just like embrace the benefits for the client, it benefits me because it helps me get my pricing up over this hump that I wanted to cross. But it's really good for the client. And when you can believe that and sell it to them as like, hey, you don't have to pay, $1,100 upfront for anything. You just get to pay a small amount. And then the buying decisions are in your hands. And I think that empowering the client is just really helpful.
And then the last question that I wanted to address, sometimes I'll have someone listen to me describe Simple Sales in the level of detail that I've just provided. And after a minute, they kind of like throw their hands up in the air and say, you know what, this is too complicated. I need simplicity. I'm just going to stick with, my all-inclusive packages. And I get that. Simple Sales is not named for the setup of the process. It definitely requires a fair amount of work to make sure you've got all the pieces in place, put it all together, and get it launched. Though certainly I try to make that as quick and straightforward as possible in the Simple Sales Blueprint. But Simple Sales really is named for the result that it gets you. So let's go back to my example from, several episodes ago about the system of tying your shoes. When you were learning to tie your shoes, I'm sure, whether you remember it or not, it probably felt complicated. But these days, you can tie your shoes without a second thought. So once you do the front end work to get Simple Sales set up properly, running your business is going to feel easier than ever without any loose ends to trip you up. So those are the main questions, but I know I've given you a lot of information here. And if this process sounds like it may be what you're looking for, I want you to be able to take the next step confidently. So if you've gotten this far, you still have questions, I want you to go to thiscan'tbethathard.com/blueprint. There's a lot of additional information on that page, and there's a little chat bubble in the lower right-hand corner where you can send us your specific questions. We are here to help. Finally, if you scroll a little ways down that page, you'll see a form where you can sign up to watch kind of a behind the scenes walkthrough of the course that I've recorded. Again, I'm all about transparency and making sure that people are educated up front about what they're getting. So there you will get the full backstage pass. If you have questions about the course and what's included, that's going to give you the answers that you're looking for. If you're ready to make your photography business more profitable, more efficient, and more attractive to your ideal clients, you're ready for the Simple Sales System. Click the link in the show notes or visit thiscan'tbethathard.com/simplesales to get started.